What's up, everyone? Welcome back for another episode of the Blacksburg Buzz. Today, we're going to be looking at the ACC Tournament bracket for the women and their path to a potential championship this season. And then we're going to be talking a little bit about Elizabeth Kitley's injury and what that could mean for this team. So to start off, we'll just break down the UVA game just briefly. Liz Kitley did get hurt in this one, but Georgia Amore picked up the slack really well. She went off with 39 points, 4 assists, and 2 steals. The Hokies did ultimately end up losing this game. The contributing performances were pretty poor outside of Kitley before she got hurt and Georgia Amore. Matilda Eck was 0 for 2. Karis Baker was 1 for 5. Kayla King was 1 for 7. And Olivia Samuel was 0 for 4. So really poor shooting to surround Georgia Amore as the game continued on, and the Hokies ended up losing by 5 points in Charlottesville. So really tough way to end their regular season right before the ACC tournament with, a loss at Notre Dame and then a loss at UVA. Virginia Tech, though, headed into the ACC tournament. They're going to be the 1 seed. They've been locked in since, I believe, the UNC game where they won on senior night. So Virginia Tech will be the 1 seed. Then going down the list in order, you've got number 2, NC State, Syracuse at 3, Notre Dame at 4, Louisville is at number 5, number 6, Florida State, number 7, Duke, number 8, UNC, number 9, Miami, number 10, Georgia Tech, 11 is UVA, 12 is Clemson, and then Boston College, Wake Forest, and Pitt round out the lineup at 13, 14, and 15. So in terms of the Hokies in the ACC tournament, it will be in Greensboro. Over the next couple days, they'll be playing Virginia Tech's first game. Since they're the 1 seed, they get a double bye. So their first game will be on Friday against the winner of the 8-9 seed game on Thursday. So Virginia Tech, their first matchup will be either UNC or Miami, depending on who wins that game. So then after that game, assuming Virginia Tech wins and continues in the tournament, they will face off with one of either Boston College, Clemson, Louisville, or Notre Dame. Whoever wins out of that section of the bracket will face off with the winner of the Hokies game on Friday in the semifinals, and then moving on into the championship, it will be, assuming Tech wins and continues, it will be Tech against whoever comes out of the other side of the bracket. If you look at the Ally bracket on their webpage, it'll be that bottom section of the bracket. And you've got to think that probably NC State or Syracuse will be coming out of that section. Obviously, you don't know for sure. Tournaments, anything can happen. We can see anyone win, anyone lose. But you've just got to expect that, as those are the 2 highest seeds and pretty much the 2 best teams in that section of the bracket. It's probably going to be one of those 2, but we'll have to wait and see for that. That will be in the championship game, which is on Sunday, March 10th at 1 o'clock. It's going to be on ESPN or ESPN2. The Hokies' first game will be March 8th. That's Friday at 1:30 on the ACC network. And then assuming they win that game, they'll play on Saturday at noon, also on the ACC network. In terms of how the rest of the season looks with how we think Liz Kitley is, it's not great. If Kitley's out for the rest of the year and that's how she finishes college, this is just a heartbreaking way to see her career at Virginia Tech just come to a close. It's absolutely heartbreaking to see it. She's been probably the best women's college basketball player at Virginia Tech ever. When you think of, athletes on the Mount Rushmore of Virginia Tech, I think Kitley has a spot on there. She has been not just influential in terms of Virginia Tech women's basketball, but women's basketball across the globe. Liz Kitley has been one of those players. It's really been like her, Angel Reese, Caitlin Clark, and a few more. They've really brought women's basketball on the collegiate level up to a whole new high. And it's been amazing to see. So I think she does earn a spot on the Virginia Tech Mount Rushmore of athletes. And to think that possibly this is the way that her time at Virginia Tech comes to a close, it's just devastating. What happened in the UVA game, we saw it was a fast break layup, and she went up. It was obviously a clean play, no malicious intent or, foul of any sort from the UVA defender. But Liz went up, and when she came down, you could see she kind of landed a little bit funky. It was like you could see the jolt go through her leg of, the impact, and she went straight to the floor. Seeing her go straight to the floor, you could tell that she knew, oh, great, like this is not good. It looked like she knew that this was a serious injury. Just the way she looked and the way she was moving around in the stadium after that, it looked like she knew that it was pretty serious. We don't know for sure how bad it is. They haven't released any detailed info on her injury. All Kenny Brooks would say in the press conference was it was an injury to the lower extremity. So, somewhere on her leg, you could tell that easily just by watching the clip. But we don't know for sure. We're pretty confident it's something to do with the knee. While she was sitting on the bench, we saw like a bruise on her knee. It was sort of just below the knee a little bit on like the patellar ligament, sort of. So, it could be something to do with that ligament. It could be an ACL. It could be a meniscus. We really don't know for certain. There's been a lot of speculation on Twitter, on different web pages and whatnot. So we don't really know, and I don't think we will know until the ACC tournament starts, or maybe even when they finalize seeding for the NCAA tournament. There's also been speculation that Virginia Tech doesn't want to release any info officially, just for as long as possible to prevent them from potentially being lowered in terms of the NCAA tournament seeding. They just don't want everyone to see that, if Kitley is out for the rest of the season, that, obviously it does lower the potential of this team quite a bit. When you have one of the best players in the world and they go down, that significantly affects what this team can achieve. And so if she is actually hurt and done, there's been speculation that Virginia Tech doesn't want to get that out to, potentially drop in the seeding significantly, because the committee can see that, hey, this team obviously isn't the same team that we saw 2 weeks ago. They don't want what happened with Florida State in the college football playoff to happen to them in the NCAA tournament. So we don't know for certain how things are with Kitley. We don't know if or when she will be returning, and it's just really, really worrying to see that after all of this time, after all of these years with Kitley and just her continued sustained excellence in the sport, and seeing what this team could achieve and how great they've been this year, how great they were last year, and thinking, maybe they can make up for their shortcomings last year. Obviously, they achieved an amazing feat in making the Final Four, but maybe they have the squad to go get that title. And to think that Kitley could be out for the year, it's just devastating. I don't think this team can make a title game without her. Obviously, she's one of the greatest to ever do it, and losing her is a huge hit to this crew. It really does significantly lower, I think, what this team can achieve. I mean, you still got Amore, who is one of the greatest in the country in her own right as well. So I don't want to say that the Hokies are doomed, but when you've got that dynamic duo of those two and you lose half the duo, it does hurt the crew a lot. With Kitley out, it really shifts up what the Hokies do. They have such amazing spacing with her because she can go down low and everyone else can play on the perimeter for the most part. And, losing that anchor, you've got to think that either the Hokies, there's only two things the Hokies are probably going to do here, is if Kitley's not back, they're either going to go small or we're going to see a lot of Clara Strack minutes. And obviously, Clara Strack has been a great player. She's been really, really good in her freshman season. But losing Kitley and replacing with Strack isn't something you want to do quite yet. I think she's going to have a fantastic career at Virginia Tech, and I think she'll achieve some amazing things. But it is really early to, have a freshman in the starting lineup down low, and trying to fill the shoes of Liz Kitley is a really, really tall order, especially for a freshman. So it's going to be very interesting to see what the Hokies do with this. We'll know probably over the next week or so whether Kitley will be coming back, but we'll just have to kind of wait around and see when Virginia Tech gives us some information. Obviously, they're keeping it quiet right now, but whenever they do, we will be here to talk about it because this really does dramatically change the future outcomes for this squad. Now, just to make this even more insane, we just got news that Kitley has been named the 2023-24 ACC Women's Basketball Player of the Year once again, 3 times in a row. And, the Hokies they've got a stud on their lineup. Huge congratulations to Liz Kitley on this one. It's really tough to see that, this comes just days after her injury. This amazing news that, she three-peated the ACC Player of the Year. That's incredible, an incredible feat. To think that, this news is coming in just a couple days after she goes down, and we're completely unsure what the future could look like for the Hokies for the rest of the season. It's insane to think that, we would be in this position a couple months ago. But one of the most electric and hardworking, talented, she can just do it all. She's a player that can do it all, and she really does deserve this award. She's been amazing this year. Let's go ahead and read off some of her stats for the season and for her career and just get an idea of how consistently amazing Liz Kitley has been. All right, so get a load of this. Liz Kitley, in her 5 seasons, career shooting percentage, 55.2%. Not to mention, she's also the ACC's all-time leader in rebounds. She has the program record in points, field goals, blocks, double-doubles. Just what does she not do? She does everything. So once again, just absolutely heartbreaking to see potentially her season come to a close like this. We just don't know right now, and it's a really worrying position to have no idea what could be happening ahead of, the ACC tournament, and then March Madness coming up just in like the next week. It's insane to think that this happens in the last game of the season, just the last regular season game for Liz Kitley at Virginia Tech, and she goes down with what potentially is a significant injury that could keep her out for the rest of the year. It's just heartbreaking. We'll come back later this week after the Hokies play and recap their game with UNC/Miami. So it's going to be interesting to see how the Hokies perform in this one, but we'll be back later in the week after the Hokies play on Friday, and we'll recap that game, and we'll do a breakdown of their next potential game and stay updated with NCAA tournament seedings. But until then, have a great time. I'm actually on spring break in Destin, Florida right now recording, but have a fantastic week. Be ready for the ACC tournament because it's coming up soon. And then just next week, we've got the men's ACC tournament as well. I'll be there, and I'll have plenty of coverage for you guys there. I'll try and get some game footage maybe. I know I'm going to be taking pictures at all the games in the tournament. So I'll try and get some fun perspectives from the media side of things and just get you guys some great content for a really fun ACC tournament up in DC. So be prepared for that. But until then, women's basketball ACC tournament, it's coming up. First games are tomorrow. So be ready for that and catch some Hokies hoops. It's definitely going to be a fun tournament to watch, so make sure you stay tuned, and we'll catch back up with you later this week.